On the 7th of May, millions will be heading to the polls for the biggest set of elections since the general election in 2024. So what's happening? And where? In England, it's local councils and mayors with 5,000 seats across 136 local councils up for grabs, each electing one councillor. And mayoral contests taking place in Croydon, Hackney, Lewisham, Newham, Tower Hamlets and Watford. English council elections follow the same electoral system as general elections, called first past the post, so whoever gets the most votes wins. For these local elections, voters generally have one vote for each available seat in an election area, known as a ward or division. So why do we have local elections? Well, councils are responsible for local services, such as caring for the elderly and disabled, education, road maintenance, and rubbish collection. Much of this is paid through council tax, which is set by councillors. But what's happening in Scotland?
In the Scottish national election, you get 2 votes and they do 2 different jobs. First up is the lilac ballot. You get 1 candidate, and whoever wins the most votes wins that seat and becomes the MSP in your area. There are 73 constituency MSPs chosen this way. Then there is the peach ballot. Your vote here usually goes to a political party rather than a named person. A further 56 regional MSPs are chosen this way. Why 56? Scotland is divided into 8 regions, each electing 7 MSPs, sometimes known as list MSPs. But this time, the 56 regional MSPs are chosen by the party's share of the vote rather than an individual winner. There is a formula applied that takes into account the proportion of votes a party has received in a region, and also how many constituency seats each party has already won. It's called the additional member system. In short, you get a named MSP for your area, and the overall result aims to better reflect how people voted across Scotland.
And what about Wales?
So Wales has been split up into 16 new constituencies, and each one will have 6 politicians representing them. So altogether, in total, the Senedd will have 96 seats. You're probably more familiar with the first past the post system, where you choose one politician and the one with the most votes gets elected. But in this new proportional system, you'll vote for a party, not a person. And the number of seats each party gets in your area depends on a percentage of the vote. Unless a party gets 12% of the vote in an area, they're unlikely to cross the threshold to get any representation there. So why the change? Some people think it will put an end to tactical voting because you'll be voting for who you want to win instead of who you want to stop winning. But others think it won't make that much difference. And because this is the first time we're using this system, it's hard to predict how voters will behave and what will happen.
So can you vote? In Scotland and Wales, you need to be 16. But in England, you have to be 18 to vote in local elections. Wherever you live, you'll need to be registered at an address in the area you want to vote. And you must either be a British or Irish citizen or qualifying for a national. If you haven't already registered, you can do it online. It takes about 5 minutes and you just need your national insurance number. You have until the 20th of April to do it. You can head to your local polling station on election day from 7 AM to 10 PM to vote. So if you're not in the UK on May the 7th or you're unable to get into a polling station on the day, there's other ways you can vote to. You can either sign up for a postal vote or you can do a proxy vote. That's when someone votes on your behalf. So do you need ID to vote? Everyone voting in person for the local elections in England will have to show valid photo ID, such as a driver's licence or passport. And those of you in Scotland and Wales voting for the Scottish Parliament and Senedd elections will not have to show ID. And finally, how can you decide who to vote for? There are many parties, candidates and independents. You can use this BBC postcode lookup tool to see if there's an election in your area and who's standing. If you're considering using AI to help you make a decision, it's important to remember that they can sometimes be susceptible to hallucinate, making things up, or can return biases and can be inaccurate. You'll also likely get a lot of leaflets through your door about candidates and what changes they'd make to your local area. And you might already see campaigners on your high street ready to answer questions. The main thing is that you should choose a candidate that you feel best represents you and the issues that you care about. So make sure to do your own research and fact check to make sure it's all correct. Go to BBC News for all you need to know about the upcoming elections, the parties standing and their manifestos.